Mercedes entered the 2023 season with confidence in their competitive car, but the Bahrain race shattered this belief. The W14, featuring a distinctive aerodynamic concept, revealed that the silver arrows had regressed rather than progressed. Faced with this reality, the team initiated a substantial transformation within their ranks. During the initial phase of the season, Mercedes made bold choices, including altering their in-season aerodynamic design and changing technical leadership. These adjustments yielded improvements, yet they still lagged behind Red Bull without any real hope of catching up during the current season. Consequently, most teams on the grid shifted their focus to the upcoming 2024 season. Allison and Mike Elliot have unveiled a secret discovery that could potentially propel the W15 ahead of Red Bull. Stay tuned until the end of this video to learn more about their revelation. Arriving at Bahrain, the W14 featured a zero-pod side pod design, with expectations to rival or closely trail the Red Bulls. However, Bahrain starkly demonstrated their lack of competitiveness, as they fell significantly short of the pace set by Red Bull. The team then committed to a radical redesign, introducing a more conventional side pod design at Monaco. This adjustment led to improved performance around Barcelona and Canada. Despite Mercedes' aggressive approach to upgrades, Red Bull maintained their benchmark position within Formula One. The introduction of vigorous enhancements at Silverstone and Spa did not bridge the gap. While the exact position of the W14 within the pecking order remains unclear, it's evident that they are far from the level of the Red Bull car. Mercedes' decision to pursue an aggressive upgrade strategy raised questions among Formula One pundits. Allison disclosed that this approach aimed to rectify the cautious stance taken over the 2022 winter break under Mike Elliot's technical leadership. While significant progress was made in the previous year, the rule changes introduced in 2023 created a dilemma: opt for aggressive enhancements sacrificing bouncing protection for performance, or adopt a cautious route to avoid repeating previous mistakes. The team chose caution, recognizing that it would be easier to correct if proven wrong. The narrative of their year revolves around the realization of excessive caution in addressing these issues. Mercedes openly acknowledges their missteps during the winter break while designing the W14. Despite their discussions about the current car concept, a sense persists that the team lacks the comprehensive understanding of the current technical regulations possessed by Red Bull. Mike Elliot disclosed that various aerodynamic concepts were explored on the simulator with no notable gains observed, prompting the team to switch concepts. Subsequently, it became apparent after the Bahrain Grand Prix that their unique aerodynamic philosophy was ineffective on the track despite performing well in simulations. Since acknowledging their errors and implementing concept changes, significant advancements have been recorded in the simulator which have translated into on-track improvements. Mike Elliot likened their situation to a trap set by ground effect technical regulations, reminiscent of Formula One's past in the 1970s. During that era, teams utilized skirts and active suspension to harness ground effect benefits, but the power of this technology eventually led to its suspension. Despite this, Formula One chose to reintroduce ground effect regulations based on technological progress. Teams found themselves without the option to employ active suspension or utilize skirts for underfloor sealing under the revised regulations. Consequently, they had to navigate the challenges through aerodynamics surrounding the side pods and components along the car's sides to secure the underfloor area. A key strategy was keeping the car as close to the ground as feasible to maximize ground effect, a principle theoretically integral to its functionality. In practice, however, the intricacies are far more complex, as demonstrated by the W13 during 2022. While the W13 performed well in simulations, it faced significant issues on the track, particularly with porpoising. This underscored the pivotal role of car suspension, an aspect where Red Bull excelled due to Adrian Newey's expertise. The Austrian team's mastery of suspension travel facilitated superior manipulation of car balance prior to the introduction of ground effect regulations. Ironically, this strength became a pitfall when confronted with the new regulations. Mike Elliot emphasized the balance between ride height and suspension travel, a balance that Red Bull seemingly achieved masterfully. Their focus on suspension, as seen with the RB19's anti-dive and anti-squat properties working in harmony with effective ride height, generated consistent and substantial downforce. This approach, consistent since around 2014, highlighted the differing strategies employed by Mercedes, favoring low rake, and Red Bull, adopting high rake in response to ground effect regulations. However, the low rake design favored by Mercedes presented challenges, especially concerning suspension stiffness and maintaining stability when running the car extremely close to the ground. In contrast, Red Bull's high rake design allowed for a less rigid suspension, enabling the car to maintain level performance with anti-dive and anti-squat attributes, effectively positioning the car's floor just above the track to generate dependable downforce. For example, while Red Bull exhibited minimal porpoising on the Camel Straight, the Mercedes W14 suffered from significant instability on the same stretch. This experience led Mike Elliot to believe that Mercedes had achieved a better understanding of suspension and ride heights, indicating progress but not necessarily complete mastery of the current technical regulations. Elliot discussed the challenges posed by limited aerodynamic testing opportunities, stressing the need to commit to a direction for development. He suggested that Mercedes had navigated this challenge, finding the optimal sweet spot between suspension and ride height. As the team heads into the future, they express confidence in their direction for the 2024 car, with lessons learned from a substantial learning journey spanning the previous year. While Mercedes aims to close the gap with Red Bull, the latter's 2-year head start presents a formidable challenge. The team's prospects for delivering a championship-winning car next season under Allison's technical leadership are contemplated. With their sights set on the 2024 car's development, Mercedes remains optimistic, determined to leverage their acquired knowledge. Share your thoughts with us in the comments section down below. We'd love to discuss it with you, and on your way down, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get notified of our future uploads to keep yourselves up to date about the 2023 Formula One season.